Hey friends, Wisconsin Worm here today to talk about players leaving matches. And this is getting to be a problem again. I've been playing a lot of Crucible lately, and I've been noticing that there are a lot of people that are once again leaving games. And so I figured once again it's time to talk about how, the problem with this, the way Bungie can fix it, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. So starters here, I was playing Iron Banner today, of course, and really for the past week, I've just really been enjoying the Crucible a lot. But I've noticed there are games where I will join, and I will join on a team with only like 3 people in it, and we will have 4 people for the rest of the game, and somebody else will join, and then somebody will leave. And it's mind-blowing that players just don't care about the quitter penalties, right? Because there's quitter penalties. Okay, I left a match because I had to, I had a little emergency, had to go somewhere, and I got to quit, and I got a quitter penalty, I got the warning and everything like that. And so why are players leaving? And I think it all boils down to like one thing, or I guess like 2 things, a couple things. Okay, number one, I notice it is consistently the same maps that players are leaving on. Okay, the maps, the number one is of course Disjunction. That needs no explanation or anything as to why. But another one a lot of players are leaving on is Fragment, and I don't know why, because Fragment really isn't even that bad of a map. And then the last one is Bannerfall, and this is of course my personal experience. I don't think Bannerfall is a bad map, but those 3 seem to be the most no, actually I take that back. Not Bannerfall, Anomaly. Anomaly is, I swear, every time I join a game of Anomaly, players just instantly leave. And I would say actually Anomalies happen more than Bannerfall. They're about equal, so Anomaly, Bannerfall, blah, blah, blah. At any rate, why are players leaving these maps? Well, first of all, obviously these maps, players have an issue with. Disjunction, I totally understand why. Every time I load into Disjunction, I kind of do this. I'm just like, oh, great, here we go. And we've made a video talking about the problems with disjunctions. We're not going to go into that right now, but it's annoying because I'll also join a game in progress. And I know if I leave, I get, screwed over with a quitter penalty. Even if 4 of my teammates leave, and there's only 2 of us on a team left, like I'm the one that gets in trouble for doing that. And sometimes I say, screw it, I'm going to take it. The other day we got in a game with a cheater who we reported, stuff like that. Not going to do a full video on it because I actually wasn't recording at the time. But, obviously, as soon as I joined that, as soon as I got killed by a golden gun, literally like twice in 5 seconds, I just left the game. Okay, because I'm not going to subject myself to dealing with a cheater for the next, 8 minutes or something like that. So I think, if you're in a cheater, that's fine. Or if you're in a match with a cheater, that's fine. But players are leaving matches just because they're getting matched against players that are doing well. And obviously Bungie has, fixed the issue with the cheating apparatus cheaters, Kronas and Zim, stuff like that. So those are gone. Hackers are, for the most part, gone. Although, like I said, I encountered one just the other day. But I believe it's the same person as, there's been a couple of posts on media and stuff about cheating accounts. I think it's the same person that's making new accounts again and again and again to test cheat software, blah, blah, blah. But, you can never fully get away from cheaters. So I don't have an issue with people leaving if there's a blatant cheater in the game. But when players are leaving just because other people are doing well and doing good, or they join a game where the score's like 10 to like 80 and it hasn't mercied yet, they just leave. And like, why? And I think the reason why is because players have stopped, they just stopped caring about the quitter penalties. They say, you know what? If I get a quitter penalty, I'll go play another game. Because that's how I feel. I'm like, oh, I get kicked out of a Crucible game, back, I think it was last week, right after the patch went live. I got kicked, or not kicked. I got, we had a game, we went to the end screen, we gave our commendations, and then we returned to orbit, and I got a warning saying, oops, you left a Crucible match. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Why? And apparently a lot of people are having the same issue, which that only happened once. So I guess Bungie sorted it out. But really, I was like, well, if it happens again, it's not that big of a deal. I'll go play like Call of Duty or something, and it's sad that we're getting to a point where players just don't care about the quitter penalties. Okay. Because here's the thing, beforehand, I can't figure out why, but a couple, take a couple seasons ago, players didn't really leave Crucible games. Like, they would legit just sit it out, you know, or if somebody left, it would quickly replace them with another person. But ever since the changes, or I shouldn't say the changes, the addition of skill-based matchmaking and the addition of quitter penalties, players leaving games, the addition of skill-based matchmaking, players leaving games got horrible. And so that's why Bungie had to implement the matchmaking changes, you know, and now we go back to the connection-based stuff, but players are still leaving games. And I don't know. I think that people just got into a habit of leaving games because they didn't like that the other team had better players than you, which that's something you have to accept in Destiny, in any game. Like, you're gonna face players that are better than you. I've accepted it. Don't know why other people can't, but neither here nor there. You know, the fact that players actually have stopped caring about quitter penalties is kind of like, that's not good for Bungie. That is showing that players would literally rather just not play their game than play in than you know, suffer through a penalty, or, you know, just, you know, finishing out the next 10 minutes in game. You know, like, hey, like, I've joined a game, you know, there's 3 people on my team. I want to leave. I'm not going to. I'm going to stick it out for the next 2 minutes till we get mercy, blah, blah, blah. Then I can go into the next one. No, players would rather leave, face a 30-minute ban than actually play the Crucible. And that, to me, that's mind-blowing, you know? And I sit here and I really can't figure out the reason why, other than the Crucible just ain't doing it for people anymore. You know, I know there's a lot of people that enjoy it, but I think there's many more players who don't really care. Like, hey, like, if I leave this game because I'm getting frustrated, I don't care. I'll just go play something else. And yeah, so that's why players are leaving. Plus, of course, that with the awful maps like Disjunction, the other maps that people are leaving, I don't really know if maybe this is just bad luck on my end, because those maps, like, I don't have an issue with Anomaly. I like Anomaly. Like, it's a very fun close range map, you know. I like Bannerfall. I like what was the other one? Fragment. There you go. I like Fragment. Like, I don't have an issue with these maps, but other people do. That's fine. But like, when you have players just immediately loading into a match just to leave the game because they see what map it's on, like, I think you have an issue. Okay, so my solution to Bungie, my opinionated solution here: remove the maps that have high rates of people leaving in, and I think that you would see those numbers go down immensely. Okay, mainly Disjunction. We've made a video talking about how they can rework it. Never mind reworking it, just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. I know they worked hard on it. I know that they don't have any other maps in you know, the works right now. I would actually be surprised if they actually give us a new map that takes place on what is it, Mercury or Venus or the Vex network? I can't remember which one it was, but they said it's going to happen. We'll see. Okay, because Bungie says things are going to happen and they don't sometimes. So we'll see about that. Of course, they're bringing Meltdown back. You know, Meltdown's not a bad map, but same time, I don't know. I think that players leaving on these maps is difficult. It's frustrating because it puts, you know, if they leave on my team, it puts me in a bad position. If they leave on the enemy team, it makes it unfun for me, because then there's like 2 guys that, you know, 6 people are fighting to kill. At that point, I just want to leave too, you know. And that's the craziest thing is, like, you know, when I have a full team of 6 and the enemy team leaves and there's 1 guy left, then my team starts leaving. That to me is like how you really know, like, somebody who's winning the game, who can easily win the game, is leaving. That's a big issue. I don't know. Bungie, just figure it out. Really figure it out. I say this might be a questionable topic, but take out quitter penalties. You know, yeah, players are going to quit games, but then, you know, if 5 people leave, everybody else can leave too and just restart a new match. You know, don't punish players who stay in the game. Okay, if a bunch of people leave, and you're not going to find 3 or 4 other replacements for them, just let everybody leave, close the lobby, let us move on to the next one. I think that's the only way you can actually fix these, you know, these issues here, because obviously, you know, they've tried a bunch of stuff. Players are still just going to leave, you know, and I think that players just adding skill-based matchmaking was the issue, in my opinion, because after they added skill-based matchmaking, I mean, everybody just got into a habit of leaving games. Okay, and I think that, you know, you really can't fix that. Players are in the mindset of, oh, well, you know, I don't like this game, I'm just gonna leave it. You know, oh, well, I get a quitter penalty, I don't care. You know, they're stuck in the mindset, I'm just gonna leave. Okay, and I think that it's a shame, but the community's been conditioned to do that, and I don't see that stopping ever again, because Bungie made the mistake in the past of just adding skill-based matchmaking to casual lobbies. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just a rant. Maybe it's just me. Tell me what y'all guys think. Like, why do you think people don't want to stay in games? Like, why do you think people are leaving? Do you think it's the maps? Do you think it's because the matchmaking is imbalanced? Because sometimes I feel like the matchmaking is imbalanced. And I could talk for days on that, but I'm not going to. I'm going to spare y'all that. But do you think it's matchmaking? Do you think it's the maps? Like, do you think it's a combination of these? Like, what are the reasons you think that people are just leaving games? And why do you think Bungie cannot seem to get it under wraps? Let me know what you think in the comments. Like this video, of course, if you like the video. And hey, drop a subscription. We make daily Destiny content like this, you know, rants, complaints, casual conversations, stuff like that all the time. And hey, last thing, watch the video you see on screen because YouTube thinks you might like it. That's it for me, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.